down Pleasant Valley, which is south of, about 2 miles south of Forest Grove. Big onion country.
From Pleasant Valley to Alcoa was all onion, mostly onion fields. All that flat ground, that ground is flat and black.
Probably when I was really young, before I went to school, I think Dad raised onions for a year because a lot of my ancestry came from the Pleasant Valley onion fields. And so, in fact, my mother was, her parents and her brother had onions in the Pleasant Valley onion fields.
They plant them early in the spring. I'd say probably in March, because I can remember sometimes they getting snow and they plant sets. Latter part of July, I think it was, they'd harvest them.
Migrant labor, large families.
People come in from Texas, other southern states, and they come in pickups.
I remember Ralph Watkins had living quarters. Looked like a real nice 2-story home. That's what it looked like on the outside. The inside was nothing but like open frame walls, stud walls. Was nothing fancy. They just had a roof over their head.
You hoped it rained maybe a couple of days before you had to top them. You pull them out of the ground and clump them in a hand, and then take a knife. Some used the scissors-like thing, but most had a real sharp knife, cut them off. The tops would be about 3/4 to an inch long, and then put them in a basket, and then somebody would come along, and I did that too, come along and count the baskets and pay the person that topped them in a, not money, in a coin-like, and then if you had 10, you got a gold coin, otherwise you got bronze ones, and then you go top, 25 cents a bushel basket. It was the pay, and some would get 100 a day, so they were really good.
Mom and Dad would run the baskets with the knives, and the kids would bring up fistfuls of onions, and Dad cut the tops off. And these people are like a machine. They could really go. It's tough when you got to stand out in that plowed ground. There's no grass. It's dirt. And you got a 90-degree day, and that sun reflecting off of that dirt, it's hot.
I wasn't a very good onion topper, so I got to load the wagons that went to where they screened the onions. They would run them across and get the dirt off of the onions.
And they called it screening, and it was a shaker. And these onions would go over that, and it would knock the dirt off.
Then they put them in burlap bags, and if it rained, you went out as soon as it started to dry off, turn the bag over so the bottom would dry out.
And that screening was a very dirty job.
The dust would be so thick on your arms that sweat wouldn't come through.
And then they put them in nice, pretty, orange-colored bags and put them on a truck or back on the wagon and haul them down to the railroad, and there was always several refrigerator cars down there.
And it took, I think, 600 bags onions to fill a car. They all had to be stacked in just right. A steam locomotive come pick them up, leave every day at 3:30, 4 o'clock with maybe 6, 7, maybe 10 cars of onions. It was big.
You never took your girl out. You always had to scrub up first.
The dirt even stunk like onions. Water your eyes.
There used to be an old saying once in a while, I can remember, when my mom would get onions out of the store, and my dad would always say, "Boy, that's some darn hot Pleasant Valley onions."